Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope you are well. Most people think influence sounds like volume, but if you are an INFJ, you've already noticed something uncomfortable. The loudest person in the room is rarely the most stable one. And here's the tension. If silence is power, why have you so often felt overlooked? Stay with that, because the answer isn't what you think. Picture this. You're in a group conversation. Someone is dominating the space, opinions, plans, constant commentary. You're quiet, not shy, not intimidated. You're tracking tone shifts, micro-expressions, who's posturing, who's seeking approval, who's subtly competing. You see the hierarchy forming before anyone says it out loud. And then something strange happens. People start reacting to you. The loud one glances at you for validation. Someone over-explains themselves. Someone else projects confidence a little too aggressively. You haven't spoken, but the room is adjusting to you. Why? Because silence, when it's regulated, creates psychological space, and most people are deeply uncomfortable with space. Here's the hidden mechanism. Silence removes friction. When two dysregulated people interact, they push against each other. Interruptions, reactions, tension. That friction regulates them. But when you stay centered, you remove the wall they expect to push against. Now they're exposed to themselves, and exposure feels threatening. So they project. They assign motives to you, they assume judgment, they try to provoke reaction. Not because you did something wrong, but because you didn't give them emotional resistance. That's why speaking less increases impact. When you finally talk, it lands. Not because you're mysterious, but because you were paying attention while everyone else was performing. Here's the paradox. Silence creates authority, but unclaimed authority creates projection. The less you clarify who you are, the more narratives fill the vacuum. And this is where many INFJs confuse power with withdrawal. You think, I don't need to prove anything. True. But if you never mark your boundaries, people will test them indefinitely. Regulation is dominance, not aggressive dominance, but positional dominance. The most regulated nervous system sets the emotional baseline of the room. People adapt upward or downward to the steadiest presence. But here's the deeper truth. If you refuse to define yourself, others will define you for their comfort, and over time, that erodes you. Not dramatically, quietly. A joke you don't correct, a subtle dismissal you ignore, a projection you let slide because it's not worth it. Each one is a micro-withdrawal from authorship, and you can tolerate it until you can't. The real power of speaking less isn't passivity, it's timing. You don't dominate through noise, you dominate through interruption of pattern. A single sentence that resets the emotional tone, a boundary delivered without heat, a calm that's not accurate. No escalation, no theatrics, just clarity. And clarity destabilizes chaos. Now, here's the resolution to the tension from the beginning. If silence is power, why have you felt invisible? Because power without declaration looks like absence. People can feel your steadiness, but unless you occasionally anchor it with words, they don't know where you stand. And uncertainty invites projection. So the shift isn't speak more, it's this. When the room moves away from your truth, mark your position. Briefly, calmly, directly. Then return to stillness. That combination, presence plus boundary, is nearly unshakable. And yes, it may cost you temporary comfort. Some people will pull back, some will feel exposed, but the right people will relax, because regulated power feels safe when it's defined. And once you stop shrinking to maintain harmony, something subtle happens. The room doesn't get louder, it stabilizes. And the next question becomes even more uncomfortable. If emotional regulation shapes social hierarchies, what else in your life have you been influencing without realizing it? If you resonated with this, I would appreciate it if you could hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. I'm going through some personal situations, and after I sort it out, I'm looking to use my real voice and face. Thank you so much for watching this till the end. Let's raise awareness of our existence in a world that is designed for 99% of the population. We can make this happen together. Until next time, take care. Bye-bye.